Hey, what's up, YouTube? What's up? All right, so just wanted to talk real quick about the business, right? You know, that the main part of what I'm talking about mostly now is trying to get entrepreneurs to understand what business is, uh, and it can ruin your life. What I mean, ruin your life meaning it can take over one aspect of your life that you probably didn't expect for it to, and make you step away from other aspects. And so I use the word ruin, but what I really mean is it can make you change from one thing to another. Let me explain. So for me, I got into this business because I love training, right? Love training people. And then, you know the backstory, how I got to this point, doing the boot camps and investing my time and my resources in the people and continue to do that throughout. And so being a trainer versus being an entrepreneur are two different things. When you step into the entrepreneur part of it and you become a business owner, it's a whole nother beast, right? And so now you got to understand, like, certain things are going to change. So if you thought you enjoyed training because you were spending however much time you were training and you had however much time you had throughout the day to go do what you do and like you enjoying, the fruits of your labor and so forth just because you're a trainer, that's cool. And that's any industry. You could work in retail and you could like working in retail, making money in retail, selling high-end shoes or whatever it is that you do, right? And then you go enjoy the fruits of that, the social life that come with it and all that type of stuff. And then you come to realize, like, okay, I want to start a business. And say you do that. You start a business, now you got bills to pay, you got overhead, you got employees, you got situations that come up, you got legal issues, you got all this type of stuff that come with business because it does come up. Now you got to spend time and effort developing all those different areas. Whereas before, all you had to do was just show up, work, do what you do, enjoy that, and then go enjoy your fruits of your labor. You don't get to do that anymore. And I can speak from the gym aspect, especially having coaches that you need to develop, which right now I'm in a position where I'm an owner operator basically, right? So I own and I still work within the company. There was a time when I had more time, especially in the beginning when we didn't have as many people. I had more time then to sit, and be with the coaches and give them my vision and give them some guidance and things of that nature and set the path, right? And it was cool, and I've done it throughout. And I think I mentioned this in another video, but that's my weak point is because I still like training. I still train athletes right there at a high level. I still train guys that's trying to make it to the league or that's already in the league. I still train, baseball athletes who got aspirations of making it, obviously, and like we train at a high level. Then I have my general population that's trying to achieve certain goals, and my job is to make sure that we reach those goals, right? So the love for training is still there, but then I still have that responsibility as an owner to make sure that the coaches are being fed, not just physically talking about money, but making sure that they are developing. So you bring a new coach in, right? You take him through a process. He goes through, let's say, shadowing for 2 to 3 weeks, right? And the shadowing consists of him showing up to the classes, learning the system, learning how to check in, learning how to lock the doors, like all the things that are involved in the business, learning how to communicate with people, learning those individuals that he's going to be working with and them learning him. It's a whole process with that you got to actually spend time to make sure that he's developed in, right? As before, it was I show up, I run the camp, people know me, I got my energy, and those people coming because of you and so forth, in a sense, what you offer and because of who you are. And now you're introducing somebody new into the mix, basically, and they don't really respond to this person the same way. You got to learn how to bridge that gap and make sure they understand, like, hey, it's bigger than me. I got to give opportunity to other people. You still gonna get the same results. I'm still around. It's a whole nother ball game when you're stepping out from doing the thing that you love and then bringing in people to help you do the thing that you love so that you can grow the business to be a bigger business as opposed to you just doing what you love. So, and I think that's pretty straightforward and easy to understand, right? But sometimes we don't see that entrepreneur. So if I'm talking to somebody that's new coming into the business, I'm gonna tell you the first thing is if you love doing what you're doing and you can do it at a high level with a company that you believe in a brand that you believe in, stick with that company and that brand as long as you can. Unless you want to become an owner because you love business. Because it's two different things. And I'm starting to learn that because like I said before and mentioned before, me and two of my siblings, we're starting a whole other company that's outside of my lane of comfort, right? It's within my lane because I understand logistics. Before I had switched my major in college and all that stuff, I was in technology management. And with technology management, I learned a lot as far as managing technology project management. I learned a lot about project management from a small scale to a big scale, from a small, car wash, two-bay car wash, to a complex multi-use office building, right? From the ground up, learning all the logistics of those situations. So I understand logistics So it's a transferable skill that can use at a gym, or I can use it within the trucking business, which we're getting into, right? So like I have that mindset and I'm able to do that and make that switch. So I have that passion, but I also have the other aspect and some level of training in it as far as school is concerned, and then real life training in it as far as the business is concerned, right? And so if you're willing to do those things, I would say go ahead and go into business. If you don't want to do those things, if you don't want to spend time and effort into investing in the people and developing coaches and bridging the gap between like whatever the relationships are, depending on what your company is. If you got an e-commerce company, that's different. It's a matter of making sure you got your team together and making sure you got strategies put together for online sales and marketing and all those. It's a whole other thing, but it still comes, with some type of effort toward that. So whatever the business is that you're trying to do, I would say do it as long as you can with the passion that you have for what you're doing. Stay with that craft as long as you can before you step out into entrepreneurship. Because once you step out into entrepreneurship, now you're in a position where your skills are going to be tested as far as, like I said, building teams and relationships and all that type of stuff. And then you get away from the craft that you have been developing for however long you've been developing. So I have been training. I mean, if you want to really be honest, I have been training since I was like 11, 12 years old. And then training other people too, just, without the degrees and without the certifications, for a while. And it wasn't until 2003 while I was in college that I decided, hey, let me go take a certification test and then really take the serious, right? So since 2003, professionally, I've been like developing myself in the industry and like investing in what I'm doing. So then when somebody, like I had a phone call today, with a player representative who had some kids from a local college here at TCU. And he was like, hey, I want you to speak to the guys about your program, your philosophy, what you can do to help develop these kids. Haven't met the kids yet. I've seen them play a little bit, on Saturdays, but just through the conversation and again, my passion, my investment into this industry, I was able to just off the phone to be able to hear both of the players, understand what they need, verbalize what it is that we're going to do, give them a vivid picture just through conversation on the phone. So I've gotten to that level, what you might call mastery in the industry of training, at least for what I'm doing, right? But I haven't reached that level of mastery in business yet, and that's where we're headed, though. So you have business one. It's not my first business either. Let me back up a little bit. I had another facility before this one. That facility tanked, and it was not big. It's not as big as this. It was, I'm gonna say, I can't remember exact square footage. No more than 2,000 square feet. Put it like that. Minimal equipment, just like I started here. Whatever. Minimal equipment. A couple relationships that I actually used at the time, but I didn't explore and expand on my relationship the way I should have. And it was cool, but the choice of location was like horrible. But I was so eager to get out here, I just chose whichever one was affordable. It was affordable, right? Something that was affordable, accessible. I could get to work right now. But I forgot all the other aspects of business, or I didn't employ all the other aspects of business. And I didn't take my time to really understand the demographic of where I was, and chose a horrible location, beautiful little spot as far as like it's the building itself, but horrible location, right? No visibility. Pretty much if you were not looking for delivery in a warehouse and you're not a truck driver, you'd never find it. And if you didn't know I was back there, you would never find it, right? So horrible decision. But I learned from that situation. Moving forward, going through all the other stuff, working for other companies and building myself within the craft instead of getting the coach and so forth, I was able to circle back around and then get into the ownership part of it with the skills that I learned working for another company that's a Fortune 500 company in the fitness industry, learning the back end of being a general manager for a company like that, going to all the corporate meetings where we have, basically company, it's like a company retreat in a sense. But on these retreats, it's more like business and you have a little bit of fun. But now you learn the back end as far as the business concerned, numbers, how to train people, how to have conversation, how to make your sales, all that type of stuff, right? Development. Learning that development on that level allowed me to do what I'm doing right now, right? But I had to go back in my craft, work in my craft, get those skills, for a time period, and then come back to where I am. And so again, my advice would be if you start your business, it would be stay with your craft long as possible. And if you can stick with that craft and you're in a place that aligns with your beliefs, like don't think about, well, how much am I getting paid? Because there's probably opportunities there that you can make money and go beyond. But if you talk about building a legacy, building companies and so forth, and you got the fortitude and the mindset to do that, by all means, get out here and go do it. But understand that part of you as far as being a trainer, unless you like me, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't need I'm gonna say I don't need sleep, even though I know the body needs, and I can tell when my body's affected. I don't need that much sleep to where I'm willing to go work all the hours I got to work, go to school full time. I went to med school, did a 2 master's program, finished one here recently, about to enroll into a PhD program, starting a trucking company, still owning a gym. So all those things are on the plate, but because I still have that fire and that drive, I'm able to do that. If you don't have that fire and that drive, my advice is don't do it. Because if you do and you hop in there, it's going to chew you up and spit you out. And you're going to be right back doing what you're doing. So you might as well just stay doing that as long as you can. And then when you have like a plan that you know you can stick to, and something that you're willing to go do because you got that fire for business and fire for legacy, like I got the fire for legacy. I want my daughters and my sons to have what they want by the time they hit a certain age, right? And by the time I hit 50, I want to have things set up a certain way. I'm 41. My goal is 50. And so I want to have certain things set up a certain way. So I got the fire. And when I get to 50, who knows what the new fire and the new drive going to be. But right now, I got a goal, and I'm after it. And I'm willing to go do it. And yeah, I might not get to train as much, but I'm training enough. I'm still in the building. Like, I'm still getting my hands wet, so I'm still active. But I'm also active in my business. And now where I'm transitioning to is I start to see as I get ready to start this trucking company and do what we're doing with that, I got to invest in my coaches more and less in my clients. And so my client portal is pretty much closed. Like, the portal is closed. Like, you know how college football is. They open the portal, you get in, and you better hope somebody come pull you out, because once they pull out and they done and it's closed, you got to go find your way. So for me, the portal is pretty much closed right now. I'm not really taking on any new clients other than the ones that I already made certain promises to. And then I'm moving on. I'm training coaches to take that role, take the baton, go build the business, and I'm off to the next thing, right? And so I got that mindset, and I'm hoping that if you understand what I'm saying, that you're able to apply it, go use it. This is some valuable information, and people need to be sharing this message, right? And if I was on here talking about, stuff that's irrelevant, I guess, in a sense, in the entertainment industry, if I was talking about the California fires right now, which you know what's happening, all we need to know is all y'all gonna put it out, right? But if I was talking about stuff like that every day, just to capture you on some turmoil, people would be sharing the message and so forth. But because I'm talking about building and doing it the hard way, the right way, it's harder to get that message up. So my plea to you is share this with somebody who absolutely gonna listen to the message and use it. Because I'm giving real practical information from an insider view that most of the gatekeepers not gonna give. All right, but you know what it is. It's your boy Coach D. Make an excuse or make a way.